Let me teach you a secret the powerful have always known, but never shared. Emotion is the leash tied around your neck. The more you care, the tighter it gets. The more you feel, the more you bleed. The world doesn't belong to those who love deeply. It belongs to those who can walk away without flinching. Caring is a currency, and the one who spends less controls the market. The one who feels less owns the room. You think love wins wars? No, detachment does. You think empathy earns respect? No, fear does. If you want control, kill the need to be understood. Burn the desire to be liked. Bury the compulsion to respond. Because the less you care, the more they do. This world doesn't reward the kind, the soft, the emotional. It worships those who can stay silent when others shout, those who observe while others beg, those who understand that care is weakness, because care is control handed over. People are addicted to emotion, to being liked, to being seen. These are chains they polish daily. But when you detach, not pretend, not perform, but truly detach, you rise above them instantly. You become unreadable, unshakable, untouchable. Control begins with mystery, and mystery is born from emotional distance. When you care less, you create discomfort. They chase your attention. They fear your silence. They overanalyze your every word, every absence, and in that confusion, in that storm of their insecurity, you hold the reins. You don't chase. You attract. You don't explain. You command. You don't react. You decide. That's the shift. That's the real power. Never letting your heart beat louder than your strategy. The man who cares more is always at the mercy of the one who doesn't, because emotion is leverage, and the man who needs nothing can't be seduced, guilted, or controlled. Withdraw, but not fully. Stay close enough to tempt, far enough to torment. Give them warmth, just enough to ignite hope. Then freeze. Make your presence rare. Make your silence echo. Let them project their fantasies onto you. Then watch them unravel as they chase a version of you that never existed. They'll call you cruel. Let them. They'll say you're cold. Smile. They'll say you lack empathy. Good. The lion doesn't pity the lamb. The storm doesn't apologize for its strength. Power is not about being loved. It's about being feared, desired, and never fully known. Caring too much is a scent your enemies will follow. They'll smell where it hurts. They'll know how to bait you, how to guilt you, how to make you beg for closure. But when you stop caring, they panic. They spiral. They show their hands. You keep yours hidden. That's not cruelty. That's dominance. This isn't a moral game. This is a game of leverage. And detachment is your winning card. Detachment isn't apathy. It's strategic indifference. You still see. You still think. But you do not attach. You never put your power in someone else's pocket. The moment you become indifferent, you become unpredictable, and the unpredictable man is the most dangerous man alive. Because danger, real danger, isn't loud. It's quiet. It's calm. It doesn't beg. It makes others obey. And when people can't read you, when they can't figure out what makes you tick, they fear what you might do next. That fear is control. Do not chase. Do not explain. Do not defend. Stay still. Let them come to you. Because the one who cares less isn't passive. He's dominant. And dominance wins. Kings are not crowned because they're compassionate. They're crowned because they are controlled. Emotionally. Strategically. Dispassionately. Detachment isn't the absence of emotion. It's the discipline of it. The weak man reacts. The powerful man observes. He doesn't respond to every attack. He doesn't justify his silence. He lets others reveal themselves, and in that silence he gathers power. Because the moment you care too much, you leak your strategy. You expose what matters to you. And once others know that, they own you. The manipulator smiles not because you're strong, but because you're transparent. You've handed them the playbook. Predictable men are breakable men. This world is not built to reward honesty of emotion. It rewards the art of concealment. You think they respect your vulnerability? They record it. You think they honor your openness? They dissect it. Every outburst is not a release, it's a signal. Every confession is not a moment of intimacy. It's a tutorial on how to destroy you. When you care less, you set the pace. You decide when to engage, when to vanish, when to destroy. Because nothing can be used against a man who reveals nothing. Learn to respond, not react. Reaction is slavery. Response is power. The masses react to praise, to insults, to silence. The powerful man? He listens, he nods, he waits, he calculates, he watches the chaos but remains still. That stillness unnerves them. It creates space, and that space becomes psychological dominance. They move toward you. You never step toward them. This law governs all spaces, romantic, professional, political. The less you invest emotionally, the more power you retain. If they scream and you remain calm, they unravel. If they ghost you and you don't chase, they question their worth. Your indifference becomes the mirror to their insecurity. In every interaction, your greatest advantage is your refusal to be moved. You are not heartless. You are precise. You are selective with your soul. The weak man gives too easily, connects too quickly, explains too often. But the one who commands? He withholds. He listens more than he speaks. He allows discomfort to work for him. Silence becomes his sharpest blade. Indifference becomes his fortress. Detachment becomes his strategy. These aren't qualities of a broken man. They are tools of a ruler. People chase what they can't have. They respect what doesn't beg. They obey what they can't predict. And when you stop handing out your emotions for free, you become dangerous. You become enigmatic. And the enigmatic man controls the room, not with force, but with presence. The most respected men are never the loudest. They are quiet, measured. Their silence pulls people in. Others orbit them, hoping to catch a flicker of approval. But they offer nothing, and in that nothing, they gain everything. The weak man orbits the powerful, desperate for validation. But the detached man becomes the center of gravity. He never spins. He pulls. While others plead, he stays quiet. While others flinch, he breathes evenly. That calm, unnerving, unreadable calm is not emptiness. It's command. They will try to shame you for this. They'll say you're distant, that you're cold, that you lack humanity. Let them talk. Their criticism is proof that you're becoming powerful, because the weak man clings to emotion like a shield, hoping it will win him mercy. But you've learned that mercy is the beginning of manipulation. You don't wear your emotions on your sleeve. You carry them like weapons, concealed and used with purpose. When the world begs for vulnerability, you deny it. When they cry for honesty, you respond with silence. In a world addicted to reaction, the one who withholds response controls the game. You must understand this. In any room, the one who appears emotionally sovereign is the one who commands respect. Not the one with the loudest voice, not the one most praised, the one who doesn't flinch when others panic, the one who doesn't chase when others run, the one who stays still when the entire room burns. That man is untouchable. That man leads. And to lead, you must first master the art of emotional silence. When you care too much, you give away leverage. You hand your peace to others like a gift and wait for them to return it. But they won't. They'll use it to own you. They'll sense your attachment and pull you by it. You become the puppet they animate with withdrawal, approval, rejection. But when you walk away without explanation, when you smile in the face of betrayal, you terrify them. You make them doubt their influence. You shift the script. Suddenly you're no longer responding. You're directing. Most men fail not from lack of strength, but from the hunger to be liked. They want love, understanding, forgiveness. Fools. Those are luxuries, not necessities. Power is not earned through kindness. It is earned through distance, through unpredictability, through silence. You don't need to prove you're right. You don't need to be seen. You need to be unreadable. They can't attack what they can't define. They can't reach what they can't read, and they cannot dominate what they cannot predict. To care less is not to be broken. It's to be dangerous. It's not the abandonment of feeling. It's the discipline of it. Two warriors meet on the field. One fights for glory, for applause, for meaning. The other fights for survival, calm and cold, unburdened by ego. The first dies trying to impress. The second wins by not caring what the world thinks. Your life must become that battlefield. You fight not for recognition, but for dominance. Not to be seen, but to never be controlled. Emotional detachment is not the absence of feeling. It is the presence of discipline. It is the refusal to let emotion dictate action. You may feel, you may hurt, but you never flinch. You never bleed in public. You bury your storms and walk through fire with a calm they cannot understand. Your silence speaks louder than any scream. Your stillness shakes them more than any threat. In a world that thrives on chaos, the calm man is the true storm. They'll try to provoke you, to pull you into their drama, their arguments, their need for validation. Don't fall for it. When they insult you, smile. When they threaten you, blink. When they beg for a reaction, give them none. Let them drown in their own noise while you remain unmoved. That's power. True power doesn't shout. It doesn't justify. It doesn't seek permission to exist. It simply is. Cold, present, unfazed. To be feared is simple. To be loved is rare. But to be respected without ever raising your voice, that is the highest form of power. That is the product of detachment. You must be able to walk away from anything. A lover, a title, a dream, a reputation. The man who cannot be owned cannot be broken. He becomes the one they chase. Not because he is charming, but because he is untouchable. Stop caring who likes you. Start caring who fears losing your presence. Stop chasing apologies, explanations, closure. Start mastering your ability to say nothing, and let that silence echo louder than any argument ever could. That's not cruelty. That's strategy. The world is not kind to those who feel too much. It is kind to those who control what they feel. You will be tested by friends, by lovers, by family. They will want sacrifices, compromises, pieces of your soul. Decline with grace, but decline. You weren't born to serve their comfort. You were born to rule your own peace, and if that makes you cold, so be it. Ice cuts deeper than fire. Be the serpent, the one who doesn't roar, who doesn't chase, who doesn't strike unless it must. And when it does, It ends the threat entirely. In your personal life, be unreadable. Be pleasant, but never predictable. Be close, but never dependent. Let them guess how much you feel. Let them wonder if they matter. Keep your power not in your heart, but in your hands. The more they understand you, the easier you are to manipulate. So don't explain, don't justify, don't overexpose. And when betrayal comes, as it always does, give them nothing. They expect you to react, to rage, to beg, to collapse. Deny them that performance. Say nothing. Walk away. Let the silence rot them from the inside. Let the absence haunt them. That's not revenge. That's control. You must remember this. Revenge is emotional. But indifference is divine. The man who doesn't seek to prove, to punish, to scream, but simply walks away untouched, that man is feared forever. While others drown in feelings, you float above them, watching. You do not chase closure. You don't seek validation. You never beg to be understood. You exist. You observe. You execute. And when you leave, there is no chaos. There is just silence and the echo of your absence. That silence is power, and power does not need to explain itself. Connection is not sacred. It's strategic. Be capable of love, yes, but never enslaved by it. Give affection, not your core. Be kind, not available. Be present, but never predictable. Because the moment they feel they have access to your soul, they will begin to shape it, for their benefit, not yours. So stay guarded, not because you fear hurt, but because you control who gets in. Be a fortress, hard on the outside, empty on the inside. Not broken, impenetrable. Your worth is not in how well you please people. It's in how fiercely you protect your self-command. When they realize they cannot mold you, cannot soften you, cannot shake you, they will either fear you or worship you. Both are acceptable outcomes. Let this be your creed. Never let love make you weak. Never let friendships dull your blade. Never let anyone's tears detour you from your direction. You are not a therapist. You are not a savior. You are a strategist. In the grand game of power, those who remain emotionally neutral always dominate those drowning in sentiment. The man who cares less is never lost, because he is never attached. And the man who cannot be owned cannot be broken. Control is not granted, it is seized. And it is seized not by the loudest voice, not by the most likable presence, but by the one who stays quiet while others scream. The one who can starve his own emotions, while the world tries to feed him poison wrapped in affection. They will call you arrogant, unreachable, emotionally absent. Let them. The weak require warmth to function. The powerful generate fire from within. They do not seek comfort. They generate pressure. They do not submit to closure, reassurance, or praise. They write their own law, and in that law they are always in control. Understand this now. Control isn't just something you hold over others. It is mastery over yourself. Can you delay gratification when desire tempts you? Can you say no when everyone expects yes? Can you walk away from validation when your name is being whispered in rooms you've always wanted to enter? If you can, then you're not just powerful, you're untouchable. The world respects the man who cannot be shaken, the one who stands still when storms scream for his reaction. He is unmoved not because he is empty, but because he has chosen sovereignty. He does not ride the roller coaster of their emotions. He builds still ground beneath his own feet. He does not adapt to their energy. He forces them to adjust to his absence. Let others react. You calculate. Let others chase. You decide. Let others perform. You remain in command. Be the one who cares less, not out of bitterness but out of focus, because you've seen what caring too much does. It drains, it clouds, it chains, and you were never born to be anyone's captive, not even to your own emotions. Rise above. Observe. Control. That is the Machiavellian way. Cold, calculated, supreme. And now, let us address your greatest test. Not war, not business, not reputation, but relationships. Romantic, familial, social. This is where most men lose. Not on the battlefield, but in the bedroom. Not by bullets, but by words dipped in sweetness and draped in softness. You've been taught to give your heart, to express vulnerability, to communicate every impulse. They told you it was healthy, that it built intimacy. They lied, because in every relationship, someone holds the leash, and it's never the one who shows their cards first, the one who waits, who listens, who speaks only when needed. He controls the pace. He dictates the rhythm. He sets the rules. You must be that man. Emotional distance is not cruelty. It is strategy. Even when your body is close, your soul must remain sovereign. You cannot be manipulated if you don't need them. That is the golden rule. Dependency breeds weakness, be it love, validation, or status. Once you need it, you've lost it. This is how they control you, not with threats, but with love songs. Not with whips, but with whispers. They wrap their intentions in comfort. They bait you with promises, and when you believe them, they own you. But the man who knows love is a battlefield, who knows affection is a tool and intimacy a transaction. He stays in power. He can walk, and when he walks, they break. Because they were never chasing love. They were chasing ownership. Your strength is not just in what you do, it's in what you refuse to do. Refuse to explain your ambition. Refuse to justify your silence. Refuse to give pieces of your soul in exchange for peace. Decline gently, but firmly. You were not born to be reshaped by someone else's expectations. You were born to carve your path, sharp and unwavering. If that makes you cold, embrace the frost, because ice doesn't burn, it scars. Consider the serpent once more. It does not roar. It does not argue. It waits. It studies. It moves only with precision. It strikes only when necessary. That is how you must move through your personal life. Quiet, calculated, unreadable. Do not announce your inner world. Do not expose your intentions. The more they understand you, the easier you are to dismantle. So remain a mystery, even to those who share your bed. And when you are betrayed, as you surely will be, react with nothing. They expect fury, expect pleas, expect your collapse. Give them none of it. Walk. Be still. Let the weight of your absence suffocate them. That silence, that clean break, that quiet control, it will haunt them more than vengeance ever could. True power is not in revenge. It is in indifference. Because revenge is emotional, indifference is final. When others are driven by feeling, you must be driven by calculation. That's how you stay 10 steps ahead. While they scream, you observe. While they spiral, you analyze. While they plot, you prepare. And when you move, it is precise. When you speak, it is deliberate. When you disappear, it is permanent. Never chase closure. Never beg to be seen. Never explain your value. That is not power. That is desperation. And you are not desperate. You are detached. You are focused. You are untouchable. This is not cruelty, it is clarity. You must stop romanticizing connection. Connection is a tool. Use it, but never kneel before it. Be capable of love, yes, but only from a position of power. Give affection, but not your identity. Be generous, but never dependent. Be kind, but never open. Because the moment they feel they own your soul, they begin to shape it for themselves. You must become a fortress, impenetrable, intact, not hollow, but controlled. Your value is not in your ability to serve others, it is in your refusal to be shaped by them. And when they realize they cannot bend you, they will do one of two things: fear you or worship you. Either way, you win. So here is the brutal paradox. When you care less, they care more. They chase your silence. They beg for your attention. They obsess over your indifference. Why? Because most people are addicted to feeling needed. They crave importance. When you deny them that illusion, they spiral. They give more. They try harder. But you don't move. You let them orbit. Let them exhaust themselves. And you remain. Centered, calm, free. Because freedom is the highest form of power. And freedom begins when you become emotionally sovereign. No one should be able to trigger you. No one should be able to bait you. No one should be able to manipulate you with praise or punishment. Your detachment is your armor. Your ability to walk away is your sword. And your silence is your crown. So stop explaining. Stop apologizing. Stop asking to be understood. The world doesn't need to understand you. It needs to feel your absence and adjust. Most people will never get you, because they are not meant to. Let them talk. Let them guess. Let them misunderstand. You were not born to be liked. You were born to be respected. And that begins the moment you choose power over pleasure, discipline over chaos, strategy over sentiment. The moment you realize nothing is permanent, not their love, not their praise, not their hate, you stop reacting. You stop chasing. You start building, not with noise, but with silence, not with connection, but with control, not with apology, but with precision. Let others react. You respond. Let others crave. You choose. Let others beg. You walk. Be the one who cares less, not because you're empty, but because you're focused, because you've seen what caring too much does. It poisons. It chains. It kills kings before they wear their crowns. But you were not meant to be ruled by your feelings. You were born to rule with your mind. So rise above, detach, observe, command, and never, never be touched. Because the one who cannot be touched cannot be broken.